In Toronto, it has been our blessing to be joined by many residents who've taken refuge from war and conflict and who have become our neighbors and our friends. They know all about sacrifice in the name of freedom and respect for human rights.
Here we are, November 11th. We're in Trelinkin British Cemetery in France. On November 11th, I want everybody to remember when you're buying a poppy and you see row after row of our Canadian dead here. And I'm going to put here, he visited Thomas William Mackenzie, Military Medal and Bar, Canadian Field Artillery. He died 7 days before the end of the war, 27 years old. So when you're walking by and you see our great legions, guys standing there and they offer you a poppy, think of all this. These guys gave their lives. At least you can buy a poppy.
I was talking to a veteran. I said, I'm not going to run the poppy thing anymore because what's the sense? I live in Mississauga. Nobody wears, very few people wear a poppy. Downtown Toronto, forget it, downtown Toronto. Nobody wears a poppy. And I'm not going to. He says, wait a minute. How about running it for the people that buy them? Now, you go to the small cities, and you know those, the rows on rows, you people love, they come here, whatever it is, you love our way of life, you love our milk and honey, at least you could pay a couple of bucks for poppies or something like that. These guys pay for your way of life that you enjoy in Canada. These guys paid the biggest price.
We have gotten to a strange place in our society when a beloved sports broadcaster known for making fiery yet thoughtful rants, gets fired for encouraging the people in the GTA to celebrate and participate by reverencing a national day of remembrance of our fallen, and continue in the tradition of buying and wearing a poppy.
At age 85, Don Cherry has reached the point where his outrageous comments crossed a line.
Several Canadians promptly took to social media to condemn Cherry's comments as racist and call for his firing.
Cherry has made derisive comments about Indigenous people, the French, Swedes, Russians, and generally people he just didn't agree with.
And put that in your pipe, you left-wing kooks.
On Saturday, Cherry implied immigrants can't be bothered to wear poppies for Remembrance Day.
People from all over the world came together to fight alongside one another. It was a true demonstration of diversity because no one cares about what you look like.
How do you know she is a witch? She looks like one!
Sportsnet, which produces Hockey Night in Canada, has apologized, saying in a statement, Don's discriminatory comments are offensive and they do not represent our values and what we stand for as a network.
I had a meeting with Rogers, and it was a pretty good meeting with the two bosses.
Bring her forward.
I'm not a witch, I'm not a witch.
But you are dressed as one.
And I said I'd come on and explain and what I said and how I said it and what I should have said, and that wasn't good enough.
The complaints flooded in. The Broadcast Standard Council got so many, they said today they can't accept anymore. And then Sportsnet announced Cherry is stepping down effective immediately.
Sportsnet, which stated, following further discussions with Don Cherry after Saturday night's broadcast, it has been decided it is the right time for him to immediately step down.
That bum Ron got fired twice, and I went to bat for him both times.
We are all hurting. I have collapsed 100 times this week, if not more.
And what does he do when I get canned?
I've sat all week long reflecting, listening to you, and I have heard you. I mean you, the viewer.
He kisses Ted Rogers' ass like the suck baby he is.
Last night was a really great lesson to Don and me. We were wrong, and I sincerely apologize, and I wanted to thank you for calling me and Don on that last night.
What did you think of his apology?
Very disappointing. We're still friends, but I was very disappointed in the way he handled it, and I don't want to go in and condemn him or anything like that, but I was very disappointed.
Why though?
Well, because he buried me, and like I said, I don't want to go in any farther on Ron. You'll have to ask Ron about that. But I was very disappointed.
So let's just reiterate that then. They come from wherever you're suggesting it
could have been Ireland, could have been come from, could have been Ireland, could have been Welsh, could have been Scotland, could have been anywhere. And that's the way people...
I guess the reason why I'm coming back to this, Don, is because there's been a lot of people who have spoken out about this, who are people of color, who have...
Well, that's their...
have served, right?
Yeah. And I said it could have been, as I said, it could have been anybody. Could have been, I'll keep repeating myself for you. It could have been Ireland, could have been Scotch, could have been English, could have been anybody. It was picked up the way it was picked up, and the silent majority said nothing, and the people that wanted to pick it up intonated, as they say, and something like that, and Sportsnet, and that's who they listened to.
Well, he's a rockin', sockin' kind of a guy, so call him egotistical, I don't know why. He ain't afraid to tell you how it is. He's well respected in the hockey biz. Oh, Don Cherry. Oh, Don Cherry.
Well, there's a lot of anger and disappointment downtown tonight after someone vandalized the old City Hall cenotaph this morning.
It's disgusting, and the people should be brought to court if they're caught, and a stiff sentence.
I can't believe it. I was here yesterday. There were so many people enjoying this ceremony, and today this.
Passerbys noticed the vandalism and called police this morning. Someone spray painted the words, "Ye broke faith with us," on both the front and back of the monument. Now, those words referencing a line in the John McCrae poem, In Flanders Fields.
I was here yesterday early. I'm bald.
Yeah, I'm very angry. There's no explanation for this whatsoever.
I'm sure there's people that are angry about different things in life, but there's better ways of showing your anger than on painting on the wall for the people that, died for us.
The mayor among those today expressing anger.
It would be disgraceful any day of the year, but I think the day after Remembrance Day, when people had gone there yesterday and made such a sincere gesture of remembrance and a salute for our men and women who served us is, it's beyond comprehension.
Now, what Don Cherry said, it wasn't racist, hateful, or directed at immigrants. I mean, you people come here, or whatever it is, as in whatever your fucking excuse is for not wearing a damn poppy, all right? You love our milk, you love our honey, you love our way of life, as in you're standing on the goddamn soil they fought and died in honor of, enjoying the freedoms and the way of life they died in the service to. So,
It's something out of the poem from Flanders Fields, but I have no idea, and I don't think anybody knows, only the idiot that did this and what's swimming inside his mind.
It's just, we've gotten to a strange place in our society, where a beloved sports broadcaster, known for making fiery yet thoughtful rants, gets fired for encouraging the people in the GTA to celebrate and participate by reverencing a National Day of Remembrance of our fallen, and continuing the tradition of buying and wearing a poppy.
So I wrote my statement on why I did it, and then I walked into Mayor Tory's office and I delivered a handwritten copy of the note there. And then I went and dropped off the statement at the Crown Attorney's office.
Many Canadians in the GTA are forgetting what Remembrance Day is about.
I guess what happened was the Crown submitted that to the police, and then the police apprehended me at my apartment with guns drawn.
The man that's being charged with defacing a downtown cenotaph says it was his right to do so.
Taking to Facebook in a 20-minute-long video staring at the camera to explain his rationale while also calling out both Toronto and Mississauga mayors.
You people are weak leaders. Why isn't Don Cherry free to scold people for not buying them? Part of the social contract in this country is the draft. Growing up and learning about the bravery and service embodied by Canadian soldiers throughout history, I felt a connection with them. Knowing that if I were alive then, I too would have been called to serve the nation and would have likely died. Serving in the Air Cadets, I learned how to march, polishing your boots, how to iron your tunic, standing at attention in a parade square for annual inspection, while an officer from the Air Force takes the time to shake the flight's hand. You stand there for an extended period of time, and contemplate laying down your life for the country and for the freedoms that sacrifice would be in the service.
The 33-year-old allegedly wrote, "Ye broke faith with us," as a political statement following Remembrance Day, and it had to do with Don Cherry being fired.
I feel that Don Cherry getting fired on Remembrance Day for encouraging people to buy and wear a poppy needed some type of response.
Zog appeared before a judge expressing he is critical of the Canadian legal justice system and police, saying he doesn't want a lawyer but would rather represent himself. The Crown questioned his mental health, saying he has a history of mental illness.
Thomas Zog refused a publication ban and turned down his right to speak with counsel, calling the court process a transparent attempt at censorship.
Zog is facing 2 counts of mischief. He's been released on bail, and he's been ordered to take a mental health assessment by a doctor in the next 7 days.
The 33-year-old says people have labeled him as a paranoid schizophrenic.
A bunch of bullshit is written about me in my psychiatric record and the records that the police maintain and hold on me. And I've never been able to defend myself against these allegations in open court. They've always tried to say that I'm mentally incapable of understanding the harm that I've done. And then, you know, they subject me to torture, and it's a very dehumanizing process of being fully tortured and subjected to a bunch of inhumane druggings and basically what I can only describe as cruel and unusual punishment.
I believe that Canada is not exactly a free country. It used to be, it's supposed to be, but it isn't right now.
The worst thing to call somebody is crazy is dismissive. I don't understand this person, so they're crazy. That's bullshit. These people are not crazy. They're strong people. Maybe the environment is a little sick.
I don't think that any true veteran grasping the nature of how a lot of our veterans are getting screwed over and taken for a hike is going to find that offensive.
Nobody forced me to join the military. I was prepared to be killed in action. What I wasn't prepared for, Mr. Prime Minister, is Canada turning its back on me.
Why are we still fighting against certain veterans groups in court? Because they're asking for more than we are able to give right now.
It gave us a moment to have a conversation about what is going on in our country.
In a world of escalating tensions, we ought to be paying a little more respect in our city to the military and its previous and ongoing service.
I hope the courts come down and hit hard on these people if they're caught, and I think they will be caught.
And I hope that whoever did this is brought before the law with the full weight of the law coming at them. As a matter of fact, the full power and the weight of the country is going to come at them. Craig, I think it translates to you're going to jail for a long time.
Well, this is a slip which says my next court date is October 19th at 10 a.m. in courtroom 112. So what I made a point of explaining to the court security staff on my way out is your job is to check people's bags. Anything beyond that, you're interfering and obstructing justice. There is a small minority of people on the internet and in the media who carry far too much power and sway in the minds of our politicians. People that are cheering on the implementation of the antithesis to the Canadian identity, draconian speech policing, and a mass silencing of anything they deem objectionable. Why are we allowing this to happen? This cancel culture has gotten out of hand, and I fear it is the beachhead for a cultural shift into an authoritarian communist state. This is not the future the men who fought and died in the battles inscribed on the monument died for. We have broken faith with their noble sacrifices, and we need to not acknowledge that in order to start correcting that as the people of the Greater Toronto Area.